Okay, we get to start out with a fun note of our three favorite paddlers all together. And now we're going to slow this down a bit to look at Patty's stroke. Patty, take a look at your setup. You have a bit of a pause in the air. So that's that dragon boat beauty that everybody's looking for, but it means that you don't actually enter the water and pull water until there. I'll do that again. Air, 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 water. So you have a lot of flight in the air, not in the water. Take a look at Austin's entry. There's a stab into the water at the front of Austin's blade and no pause in the air. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a rounded recovery like a hill through the air and a stab down into your feet as you enter the water. So the way for you to do that, Patty, is to activate that bottom lat and pretend to be spearfishing into the water at the front of your stroke. So you'll be thinking about that this recovery of your stroke doesn't end until you are firmly planted in the water. You should never be hanging in the air. Hope that was helpful. Last note for Austin. I want you to take a look at the shoulder on your lower arm. As soon as you go into your excellent stab, your shoulder shrugs up into your ear. So it means that the back end of your paddle is pulling up. Do you see how it's pulling up towards you? That actually is driving your boat down. So what I want you to do is intentionally think about keeping that shoulder down out of your ear as you paddle. And what that's going to do is keep your paddle longer, deeper, harder, and you're going to grab more water doing so. It might also mean that you have to recover by sitting up a little bit more with your core rather than shrugging up with your shoulder. So you'll start to feel your whole body lift in order to get your paddle out of the water. Otherwise, you've shown a lot of improvement since our last video review. Nice work. Okay, Lynn. So for a few seconds, I want to just have you notice what part of your body is moving the most. It's your arms. Your stroke tends to focus a lot in your arms, and you're doing a lot of really impressive work, like your arms are really strong. But you have stronger muscles in your body than your arm muscles. So you can see it really well on this side. Your lower arm is doing all of this like rounded motion to pull your blade through the water. What I want to be seeing is your arms connecting to your body through your lats. And this next segment is when you're a little bit more tired, and I want you to see how you look as you start to fatigue. You sit up just a little bit more, and you can also see that you're doing sort of a vertical oval kind of a stroke. So it's an up and down long ways oval. And we really want it to be sort of a triangle with its longest leg on the bottom where your paddle goes through the water. So the fix for that is, again, finding those lats, but then allowing those hips to do a little bit more rotation. I want you to actually feel the seat and feel your butt move slightly on the seat so that you can start getting that feeling of your lower body doing some of the work with you. We'll have a chance to talk more about this when we're on the water. I hope that was helpful. All right, KJ. Your stroke has really improved since our last videotapes. You've been doing a ton of work. You can start to see the lower lat is working a lot more. Well done. We have a great moment with your background that you can see these two lines in the background. Watch your head and the top of your boat in comparison to the shore and the ridge line. you have a bounce still, and your bounce is directly associated with your top arm. You are just so strong. That top arm is still doing so much work to press down, and you are actually overcompensating. What I would like you to do for the next 4 Saturdays is to try to paddle with that top arm only pressing down 5%. It's going to feel like you're barely doing anything, and it's going to be frustrating. But if you can really train your stroke to be predominantly your lower arm doing the work, you're going to sit up more, you're going to have more of a catch, you're going to feel your lats more. And I think it's going to be a huge improvement, take you to the next level. So please know, like, you're doing great. You have a good solid stroke, and this top arm really needs to learn its place. It's a little too bossy. So we'll just keep practicing that. All right, Tammy, it's your very first video review. Give yourself a lot of grace here. I'm going to give you lots of feedback because it's helpful. So your top arm looks nice. Your elbow's in the right spot. Your wrist is in the right spot. It's really strong looking. And you and I have been working on this lock of your lower arm. So we're going to get it actually really slowed down here so that you can see how your catch is. You can see your recovery. And then watch your body cavitation here. So there's a few points here. You're trying really hard to get your lock, but you're doing it with your arms. I want it to come from your hip. Your hip is the bottom point of your latissimus dorsi. And so if your hip can come forward slightly and activate by like pulling your shoulder and your hip closer together as you're about to go into the water, you're going to activate your lat, and then you want to slice it forward into the water. The next step is to like sit up, and if you have brought your hip forward slightly on your catch, your hip then drives back. And that's going to bring your whole body back with you. Can you see how your body is a little bit stationary right now? And you're doing a lot of the work with your arms. We need to get that body involved. And so maybe it feels a little bit like a forward lean. Like I want you to maybe lean forward a teeny tiny bit more. And what that lean forward does is activates your quad and makes it feel tense as you go into the water, okay? When you can tense that quad as you go in, then that quad wants to fire, and that quad pushes back, your body rises slightly as your lats stay locked in and tense as you pull through. So that's a ton of talking. Yeah, we'll do more on the water. All right, Sue, it's nice to have you back in the video. So for everybody else, Sue was one of the people who got to paddle last year and go to Queen Lily with us, so has a little bit more experience under their belt. Sue, I think your hips are always going to be your nemesis. Like getting you to be able to rotate might be a functional thing that your hips just can't do. I don't know. I'm sure you've gotten that feedback before. So the thing I can help you change is this top arm. Look at how straight it is. When you keep your top part of your paddle away from you so rigidly, you lose a little bit of opportunity for more catch. So you're one of the very few people that I would ask to do a little bit more rhino, you know, where you like bend your elbow and bring your hand a little bit closer to your head. You can get like 2 more inches into the water if you did that. And the only reason I tell you to do that is because you are using your lats, you're staying tall, your core is working. So that's very specific feedback to Sue. And I wanted to just point out the most amazing switch I have ever seen of anybody. All of us need to work on our switch. That wasn't it, but it's coming. Hold on. This switch right here is the best switch I have ever seen. Yeah, good job, Sue. And now for the winner of the Most Improved Award, Laura Freeman. If we went back to Laura's first video, we will see that there has been a ton of improvement. Laura, your lock is exactly what I want everyone to be doing. Take a look at how Laura seamlessly goes into the water from her recovery. Her paddle blade skims the water and then just seamlessly connects into it. And then you can see that she keeps her shoulder down. Her lat of her lower arm is completely activated as she pulls through. And the main reason that's happening is because her other arm, her top arm, has stayed soft. The elbow is bent. The wrist is gentle. And she is not overpowering with that top shoulder. Her upper arm's lat is also activated and pulling down. That allows her to get that extension in the front that you can see. So Laura, you also are looking like you're connecting it into your hips. We may start to look at how to implement your legs just a little bit more as your next step and do the launch drill. But I do want to point out that you have gotten away with being the slowest switcher for a while, and it is time to up your game in quick switchovers. So try to make them in time with the rest of your paddling, and well done.